and ones, zeros and ones. So the Visual Studio Code that we are using is an IDE. The IDE, what the IDE is, it serves as a middleman between we the programmers and the computer. So like the IDE, whatever we communicate with the computer, the IDE converts it to what zeros and ones for the computer to what understand. And also, in order to build a website, every website has HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Other advanced ones has other languages. And so let me clarify this thing. HTML is not a programming language. Yes. Maybe somebody will be asking why HTML is not a programming language like Python and the rest. Like HTML is just a markup language. Like as I stated before, the full meaning of HTML. So we are going to create our first HTML program. So we have already opened the folder. So we are going to create a file. The file I'm going to save it. Okay, try. Anyhow you want to name the file. So in HTML, the extension for saving an HTML file is .html. That .html is telling the system that this is an HTML program, this is an HTML file. So the extension for saving an HTML is just html.html. Then you save it. I hope you guys are following. Like if you have any questions or you need clarification, anything, you can let me know. I hope you are following.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
so how
Please, can you just go
so how
over just what you just said?
okay, so okay. We are about to create our first website. So we are going to create a file. So already you can see my interface. You can scroll over to the day one, the folder that we created. Then you scroll up to this section, you'll see new file. Then you press on it. After pressing on it, this thing will pop up. Then you would type the name that you want to save the file. So I'm going to save it, try. After typing it, we are going to save it with an extension. So the extension will tell the system that, oh, this is an HTML folder. Like for example, when you save a video, you can see that the extension is .mp4. The MP4 is telling the system that this is a video. For audios or music, the file extension is what? .mp3. So that .mp3, that extension is telling the system that, oh, this is an audio format, this is a video. So the extension for HTML is what? .html. How's the name? So this extension is telling the system that this is what? An HTML folder. So after typing the .html, then you press on enter. Automatically, you have created the file. I hope you guys get it. Okay, okay, okay. So then let's proceed.
I think my hand is up.
Come again.
My hand is up.
Your own is
My hand is up for a question. I don't know whether I can go ahead.
okay. You can ask the question.
Yes, I just wanted to find out. I mean, you were making reference with the extensions, talking about
Come again.
when you save audios, the extension is normally .mp3. This one, when I started,
Yeah,
I just typed try without the extension HTML.
you just type the words.
So I tried giving it a name without the .html. I wanted to find out,
Uh-huh.
Does it
What
automatically
will
give it
happen?
out, or every time we have to always type .html?
Okay, so like every time you are trying to write an HTML program, you need to save it with a extension .html. Like, let me demonstrate something over here. So I'm creating another folder. This time, I'm not going to save it with a .html extension. So anything, just then I save it. Automatically, the system flags it as what a text format. So like the text format as our normal notepad. Ehen. So when you don't save it with an extension, the system flags it as what a text format. So let me go inside the folder that I created, the day one. So you can see over here that the quick step over here, it has been what flagged as a what a file format, a text format. That's how like the system defaultly, when you don't bring in any extension, it's what defaultly save it as what a text format. I hope you understand.
Yes, that's well understood.
Okay. So please, is there any question or I should proceed?
Yes, we can
Should
proceed.
I proceed or someone wants to ask a question? Okay.
Yes, you can
So,
proceed.
okay. So earlier I said HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. So the HTML is not a programming language like the Python or any programming language that you know. It's just a markup language. Its job is to what, tell the browser that this is a title, this is a paragraph, and this is an image. So let's take HTML as the skeleton of the human body, the skeleton of the website. Like, let's pick the human body as an example. The human body, we have the skeleton before the organs, then before the flesh, then finally, like the attire that we wear, the clothes that we wear to make a full, complete human being. And same applies to the website. So the website, the HTML is just the what? The framework, the skeleton. Then we have CSS. Later on, we come to the CSS. The CSS are some like a beauty. Like imagine a human skeleton there. It won't be very much attractive, but when you add body to it, it seems attractive. So let's proceed on. Let's proceed to write our first HTML program. So let me relate to this one. Okay. So one thing about IDE is the full meaning of IDE is integrated development environment. One advantages of using an IDE is we have autofill. Autofill, like for example, you are testing someone on Google or WhatsApp. You are testing someone on WhatsApp. Maybe you type how are remote immediately you type how then you can see that it has already autofilled how are you for you. If you can if you have ever noticed that thing, that autofill. So IDE has that feature. Maybe if you type something, it can auto-complete it for you. One advantages of what using an IDE. So we are going to write our first ATM program. So ATM, we have something called ATM5. So what the ATM5 means, the ATM5 is telling the browser that this is a what HTML program. Whenever you are trying to create a website, you do not bring the HTML5, automatically the browser flags it as a website made in the 1990s. In the 1990s, now we had a rule for websites. So yeah, it automatically flags it as a website made from the 90s. After that, please, can you hear me?
Yes, you can be heard.
Yeah, I can hear.
Okay. So we are going to type the HTML5. So over here, you can see the auto predict for you. So you can select the HTML5 over here instead of fully typing the HTML5. So we'll select on the HTML5. When we select on the HTML5, this thing will be what generated for us. This thing will
Hello?
generated for us.
Hello,
Yeah.
sir. Please make your screen bold there. It's small. We can't see.
Okay, you can't see the text.
Yes, yes. Make it a full screen
Okay, okay, okay,
on
okay,
your
okay.
side.
Okay, okay, I'm coming.
Yeah, hello. Can we go over this second step? I missed this step.
Come again.
I said, can we go over this second step you did? I missed it.
About how to generate the HTML5.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
I'm coming. I will start over again. Okay, no problem. Sorry for the delay. Please, let's proceed. Sorry for the delay. Okay, so let me start again. So we have already created our HTML file. So the HTML file, after that, we are going to type HTML5. The HTML5 is telling the browser that this and what an ATM program, an HTML program. So about the auto predict, I was saying earlier, as you can see, when we type the ATM, it's already brought the HTML5 for us. So instead of typing everything fully, can use the auto predict to what generate it for us. So after using the auto predict, we got this. So I'm going to explain this. So this is like the structure of the word, the HTML, the website, the structure of the website. So like the doc type over here. The doctype is the one. The doctype.
HTML.
Please, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
The doctype HTML. It's like a megaphone. It
Yeah.
shouts to the browser that it is a what an HTML5 document. The doctype HTML is telling the browser that this is a what an HTML5 document. An HTML5 document is a modern like website. So as earlier I said that if you don't bring the HTML5, it tells the browser that this is an old website. So it uses the 1990s rule towards judge the website. So like certain, you are not going to get some certain features in it, but if you use the doctype HTML, it tells the browser that this is a modern HTML document. So it gives you all the advanced features. So let's proceed. So like earlier I said that the HTML is the skeleton of every website. So the skeleton, we have the human skeleton, we have the head, then we have the body. So the head contains like the normal human skeleton, it contains the eyes, the nose, whatever. But for the website, this is the head section. I hope you can see it, the head section.
Yes, we can see.
Okay, the head section, what the head section does is it displays the website's name. So you can see over here the title over here. The title is displaying document. Let's change this, then type my first website. So when we run this program, it's going to show my first website as the heading of the website. So to demonstrate it, let me show you something over here. So I'm going to search something like KFC. Please, were you able to hear what I just said?
No, we couldn't hear anything.
You were muted.
Sorry, I'm starting again. Actually, like this is my first time, so I kind of feel like in there was somewhere. So as I was saying, okay, so let me start. Afresh. So we're going to type ATM5. So the ATM5 is telling the browser that this is a modern website. So over here, I said that there's please, is someone trying to say something or
Ramona, can you please
Okay, let's mute our
yourself,
mics. Let's
Ramona?
mute it because the background is noisy. Let's mute
Yeah,
our
if you are
mics.
not talking, just mute yourself, please.
okay, so let me continue. So earlier I said that the HTML is the skeleton of the website. And the structure of the skeleton, we have the head and we have the body. So in HTML, this is the head. we call this thing as head tag, the head tag. Then this has the what? The closing tag. So the head tag is like a container. Let's say that the head tag is like a container. You have opened the container. And the close tag is you have closed the container. Every container, when you open the container, it means that we are putting something inside the container. And when you close the container, it means you are done using the computer. So like we are done using the container. So for the head tag, what the head tag does it's what displays the name of the website. So over here we can see documents. Let's run it and confirm what will show over here. So you can see documents over here. So it's trying to tell us that the website that we are creating, the name of the website is what? Document. But let's change it. I'm creating a website for maybe KFC. I'm creating a website for KFC. So the name of the website is going to be KFC. So I'm going to clean the document and type KFC. Or you can change it to, this is our first website that we are trying to create. So my first website. So you are naming this as what? My first website. So let's go to the browser and see if it has what? Reflected over here. So I'm going to refresh it, then it will display my first website. My first website. So the main function of the head tag is to display the name of the website. It has other functions, but like let's start from the beginners level. So like the beginners level, the main function of the head tag is to what? Display the name of the website. So I was talking about open tag, then close tag. So to make everything simple, let's take the tag as a container. Every container has a lid. I mean something that closes that container. So when you open the lid, we call it open tag or open, let's say open tag. Then when you close the lid, it means like we call it close tag. So when you ever open a container, we are trying to put something into the container. So in creating an HTML document, the head tag, so in creating, so the head tag means we are going to, the head, I don't know how to put it. So let's say, for example, the head over here, we have typed whatever we wanted, the title of the website. Then we bring the what? The close tag. So the close tag means we are actually done with the head tag. So I've opened the container, I've poured water inside of the container, then I've closed the container, which means you are done with the container. So that's basically the open tag and the close tag. So every function has an open tag and a close tag. So the head tag contains the title of the what? The website. So let's proceed to the body tag. So let me bring these spaces to, this is the head tag, then this is the body tag. So the body tag, like earlier, as I said, the HTML is the what? The skeleton, the framework. And the skeleton, we have the head and we have the body. The head contains the title of the website, and the body contains the actual code, the actual function, or the main components of the what? The website. So let me use this as an example. The KFC website that I opened, this is the what? This is the head. This is the head tag. It's displaying the website name. And this is the body. All of this, everything from here downwards is the body. It actually contains the main components of the website. I hope you understand. Okay, someone is trying to ask, how do you run it? Okay, so let me show you guys how to run it. So if I sound some way, if I sound weird, so So how to run it? First, you need to save your file. So already mine is at autosave. So I'll encourage everybody to put it at autosave. So like the autosave, okay, I've removed from the autosave. So when it's not on autosave, whenever you write a script there, you need to save it before you run it. If you don't save it, the output or the changes that you made will not be reflected. So always you need to make sure the autosave is on to save you a lot of trouble. So when the autosave is on, all you need to do is just go to the website, then you refresh any changes that you make. So let me claim the website over here. I come to the browser, I refresh, it will reflect my face. But let me turn off the autosave. I've turned it off. Then let me type something like web. Let me type something website. Then let me come to the browser. Then let me refresh. It will never reflect there because I haven't saved it. But when we turn on the autosave, automatically it will save everything, every progress that we make. So I encourage everybody to turn on the autosave. So after turning on the autosave, let's rerun the program again. So after turning on the autosave, we'll come to here, we have file, we have edit, selection, view, go. We have run. You press on the run. Then you press on what? Start debugging. Or you can use the shortcut over here. You can see the F5. Then you press on start debugging or what? The F5. So after pressing on it, you can see that the changes that we made. My first website, it has reflected over here. And also you have what? Run the program. I hope you understand. I hope everybody gets it up to this point. So if there is any question, I can help you. I can clarify it for you. Okay. So let's continue. Now we have been able to name our website. So my first website. Now we are coming to the body part. The body section is going to contain the main component of the website. So as I said earlier before, the HTML tells the browser that there is a paragraph, it is an image, it is a picture, and like it doesn't really do much. So I'm going to write some instructions, just some code, then display, then you know how it's going to look like. So let me type anything, just let me type anything there. Then let me run it, let me refresh it. You can see over here that it has reflected. But over here, it looks dull, like just plain text. So that's how basically the HTML works. Like it's just a plain text. The example that I used before, the human skeleton. The human skeleton is just something plain. But when you add something like the organs, then flesh to it, it makes the website more attractive. And in order to do that, we apply CSS then in JavaScript. For the CSS in JavaScript, we'll come back to that. But now let's continue with the HTML. Okay. So in HTML, we have something called headings. So the programming language in general is like writing English. So when we come to the body side, the headings, we are going to talk about the heading tag. The headings is different from this one. So I will explain that very soon. So we have something called headings. So this is how we create the headings. So we are going to bring the less than sign, then you type H, H1, then you bring the greater sign symbol. Then maybe we'll type anything, my first website. Like as earlier on, like how I said, like the autocomplete or the autocompleter, sorry, they will added a closing tag to it. So this is an open tag. The open tag means it has opened a new container for you. Then that is the close tag. The close tag means you are what? Done with the what? The container. So I'll name this headings. We are starting from headings. So I'm going to comment out. And I'm going to comment out. Okay, so let me explain the comment. Comment means like maybe you are writing, you are coding, you are writing some instructions, you are trying to create a website. Maybe the headings over here is trying to tell the person or anyone reading my code that this was headings. It's telling this the person that this is what this code does. Like for example, the headings. Maybe the comment means you are trying to add a short note to the code that you have written so that if anybody is reading your code, the person will know that, oh, this so and so does this so and so does this. Like in normal academics, when we are writing notes, we bring the heading. The heading is trying to tell us this note is about this topic, this note is about this topic. You say that thing. So So this one is the headings. The headings, we have H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, and H6. The higher the number, the lower the font size. And the lower the number, the higher the font size. So let me demonstrate it. Already we have written each one, so let me run it. So let me refresh it. So you can see the H1 that we typed, it has displayed over here. When you wrote the H1, inside you brought my website. Now it is displaying whatever we put inside our container. So let's take this thing as a container. And this is what we kept inside the container. So we kept my website inside the container, and now it has displayed what we kept inside the container, my website. So over here, we used H1. So this is how the font size of the H1 looks like. So you are going to create another one, H2. Over here, you can see the auto predict over here. So we just select on what? The H2. Then you type, okay, so then I'll bring this, welcome to my website. So this is the open tag and this is the close tag. So let me refresh this too. Let me run this so that I'll be able to see the output. So now you can see the difference between the H1 and the H2. The H1 is the biggest and followed by the what? The H2. So I'm going to proceed and do it up to H3 so that to be able to know the difference. So this one, I'm using the auto predict to complete all the H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, and the H6 in order to make it simple. So let me refresh it. Now, this is the H1. This is the font size for the H1, and this is the font size for the H2. Now you can see the difference from the biggest to the smallest. So like, for example, when you visit a website, maybe CNN website, the headline, you can see that the headline is being boldly written. Then the normal, the letters, it is like in a smaller format. So you can use these headings to maybe you are trying to create a website like, okay, let's try to create a program like myself. So this is going to be the main, let me clean this. So this is going to be the main title. the main heading myself. Maybe under myself, that I'm going to write something like my name is so and so. Like my name is then it's going to display it in a lower text. I hope you can see the difference. Please, is there anyone facing a problem or is there any question? Okay. If you have any question, please you can.
Please continue.
Okay. It seems some of you are complaining that yours is not running. So let me start again. So let me clean everything. Okay. So in order to run,
There are a few questions in the chat for you.
Okay. If you have any question, please you can voice it out. Okay, so someone asked, why didn't you put the P tag? Okay, so the paragraph tag, we will come to that later on. Like I want us to focus on the heading tag, and later on we move to the paragraph tag. I hope you understand. Okay, so someone is asking after the less than sign. Okay, so please, how did the H2 appear? Okay. Debugging, you need to select the browser to okay, yes. When you let me start from the debugging. When you press on run and start debugging, already for me, I chose Microsoft Edge. So if you are your first time running it, it will prompt you which browser are you going to use. If you have the Chrome, you can choose the Chrome. If you have the Microsoft Edge, you can select the Edge. It's a preference. You can choose the one that you like. And also, someone asked about how I did with the H2. So let me start from the H1. So earlier on, I said that the H1 is the what? Is the biggest. The font size for the H1 is actually the what? The biggest. So let me start by what? Let me bring the what? The less than sign, then type the H1. Then let me bring the what? The greater than sign. So I brought this. Someone will be asking how this closing tag or the H1, this one came. So let me clean it, then let me explain it. Earlier on, I said the IDE comes with auto predict. So the H1 I was typing, the system automatically knew that I'm going to write H1 and I'm going to close it with this heading. So automatically it suggested that it should complete it for me, or I can choose to ignore, or I can choose to accept. So the autocomplete, you can press on tab to do the autocomplete for you. Or if you want, you can do it manually. So let's do it manually. I've already brought the less than sign. So H1, then I'll bring the greater than sign. So this is the open tag for H1. Then I'll type my first website. After that, then I'll bring the less than sign again. Then I'll bring backslash over here. Then I'll bring the H1 again. Then I'll bring the greater sign. I hope you can see it. So like the greater sign and slash H1 greater sign is the closing tag. And in order to prevent you from like writing it manually, you can use the auto predict to complete everything for you to make your code simple. I hope you understand. Mason, I hope you understand how. Okay, so Mason, in order to bring the H tune, like as I said on earlier, you can use the word auto predict. So let me come to the next line. Then the same procedure, the H1, you are going to do the same for H2. So you bring the less than sign, then you bring H2. Then you bring the greater than sign. You can see that as I was typing the greater sign in H2, you can see some pop-ups on my screen telling me that I should write this line. It's trying to auto-complete it for me. That's the auto-predict feature. So like, in order to make the code much simpler, much easier for us, it's auto-predict for us so that, to prevent us from manually typing everything one by one, one by one, one by one. So this one, the H2, then my name is Faisal. I can see over here. That's already it's predicting for us. I hope you understand. Okay, so how to run the H1? Okay, so now let's maintain the H1 and the H2. Now we are done with the H1 and the H2. So you want to see the result. So you move to the run, you press on the run. So how to locate the run? Over here, you can see file, edit, selection, view, go, and run. So you press on the run, then you can see start debugging. We have run without debugging. The run without debugging 2 weeks, but I'll explain the start debugging and run without debugging. I'll explain that later. So let's start with the start debugging phase. So you can either do it manually or you can use the shortcut, the F5, the function keys, the F5 to start debugging, or you can do it manually. So I'm doing it manually. So then I'll press on start debugging. So start debugging, you can see over here. So you can see this is the H1. This is the font size for the H1, and this is the font size for the H2. So you'll be able to know that the H1 is much bigger than the H2. Same applies, the H2 is much bigger than the H3 up to the H6. I hope everyone understand. Okay, so let me continue. So now let's continue with the H3. So I'll bring in type H3, then I'll close it. Then you can type anything like my name is Faisal. I come from it. So now let's go and put the H4. So my I like watching. So you can then let's proceed to the H5. It's the same steps as the H1 and the H2. The only difference is that